the 16th. I actually thought it was this weekend. Padraig, Jack, you're very welcome.
Thanks very much. Great to be back.
It's lovely to see you back again. And I was just trying to work out. It's been quite a few years now since you were up with us last.
It has.
How has things been for you?
They have been mighty. I think it must have been 2019, I'd say it was. I was here. I think.
It was pre-COVID, didn't it?
Pre-COVID, yeah. And it was the same vibe coming in tonight because it's the only time I've ever come into a radio station where it feels like I'm coming into a festival or a gig. Because you have the live music and everyone's like, tuning up and having the crack.
There's always an old buzz.
There's a buzz, like, yeah.
It's
like a sterile kind of, tune up and it's like a bit of crack.
No, but come here. What do you think of them young lads were on?
Oh, brilliant, yeah. We're listening to them there, yeah, Jesus.
It's class.
Mighty, it's great to see the...
You're from the Aran Islands, and are you still based in there? You're Galway based now?
I'm between the two, Galway and there, yeah. I'm from Inishmore. I go in and out a few times a week. I'm praying for that Galway ring road, to help shorten my drive across Galway City. I have a little 2-year-old now. We're based in Oramore with Ciara. Ayla's her name, and Ciara. So we're kind of based in Oramore. But I still get out to Aran maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But it's great for gigging. Then I'm near the motorway. I can get to Dublin or Donegal or anywhere.
I know. And tell me, how many people are resident now? And
about 800 in Inishmore. Yeah.
It's still going strong.
It is. Yeah, it's great. Tourism based, naturally, like Galway, and it's great.
How long would it take you to get out in the boat?
The boat is about 50 minutes.
50?
Yeah. Galway to Rossaville is about 50 minutes, and then or more past Galway can be anything between 25 minutes and an hour and 25 depending on traffic. But yeah, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Oh, you'll always be an island man.
I will. I think. I do feel always drawn to it. Like, I don't mind. I'll put up with the travelling.
I know. Yeah. But come here. You've been busy. You're playing in the courthouse in Lifford. I don't think you've played there before.
No, never have. No.
Well, Gillian and Graham looks after it down there.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yes.
She's a great girl. They're a great team on there now.
Oh, they have, and it's a lovely room as well for great acoustics and stuff.
The acoustics are just amazing.
Yeah,
the whole atmosphere about the place, it's just something you will. It'd be right up your street.
Oh,
it'd be right up your. It's a good acoustic for good acoustic players.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, we're going to talk plenty. But first of all, we're going to do a wee song part first.
Yeah, I'm going to do a song off my first album. Yeah, called Minnie.
Brilliant. Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thanks very much. Minnie ever lived her life out loud with her sunshades on, ever singing a song. Minnie married to a middle-aged man, didn't marry for love. She was happy enough, she said. You, am I doing it right? I said, Minnie, you are a fading light. Minnie drives with a bright smile on, lets her curls hang down. They speak volumes of fun, but honest eyes complied in a lie. She was incomplete, starting to die, and she said, oh, am I doing it right? I said, Minnie, you've got to set things right. And as we drank some wine and watched the sun go down in the back room, Minnie said what she had to say. Now her husband's gone, he didn't touch her anyway. Single mom reignites her spark, Minnie's holding strong. Her noose is gone and she said, woohoo, I can feel it again. A new woman, she said, need not pretend anymore. And like wide-eyed teens, we set our spirits free. At the windowsill against her soft back skin, and I wanted to tell her more, but I never did. And I wanted to give her more, but I never did, and I wanted to love her more. A 5-year gap, those fears many scared me off. It was a step too far. Couldn't see what we had been, just a fling run thing, but I had set the scene. I said, I can't commit to this. She said, after tonight we can just be friends. And as the Galway sky let the sun pass by in silence, we drank our last red wine and watched the sun go down and said goodbye. And Minnie's happy now. She found love somehow.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. That was in your first album.
That's how, yeah, it is, yeah.
The song you released in May, These Shores.
Oh, yeah.
You have a great ability to write music both in Irish and in English. Is that difficult?
I don't find it. I find it equally. I don't know, difficult. I mean, it's difficult. I find it's difficult to write a good song, or well, I don't know what good is anyway. But
do you know,
in fact, the better songs tend to actually come out really quickly and easily. Actually,
yeah. But when you're writing, to me, it's trying to juggle the poetry involved in writing in two different languages. I would think, but maybe it's just natural to you. You know, it just sounds.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's a good question, and I do think about it, and I talk. Yeah, I don't, or maybe I don't think about it enough actually. But I do love it. I love the process in both language. I love doing it in Irish. Like I love the the language. I don't have as big a vocabulary in Irish, but I really like doing it in English. I like the English language as well. Like I liked it in school and stuff. So
do you see, Padraig, if you were writing, do you would you write putting together the bones for song, right? Would you be going, "No, this is going to be in Irish. This song has to be in Irish," or?
That's a great question, actually. Again, I don't know if I've ever consciously thought about it, but I have thought about it. Yeah, actually, I have done that. These Shores, actually, it's funny you mentioned that one.
Yeah.
I wrote that in Irish first during COVID,
right.
And it actually had a slightly different meaning. It was similar. It was the last verse in it. The Irish verse was the initial verse I came up with. Slinian Nishan Thala Shaw, Bhí Muid Yvonne. This is now our land. It's like, Irish, like Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
It just I don't know where it came out of. I didn't mean it when it came out, but it's like, our land, of the land of Ireland.
Yeah.
And I had written that whole song in Irish, but it was different in Irish, and then I wrote it in English, and it was like rewriting it almost.
Oh, yes,
but very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I left the Irish verse in because that held the meaning. That held the meaning in both versions of it, even though the rest of the parts were
I get you. That
makes sense. Yeah.
It's always just there's been an interesting point, and it's one of the questions that I said I must ask us. Now, in that single that you recorded, I see you had Anthony Thistlewood on mandolin.
Yeah.
And is Anthony still with the Saw Doctors?
He is indeed. Yeah. Yeah. He was playing.
Very talented musician.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's amazing. Yeah.
And you were with the Saw Doctors on Saturday night. Are you touring with them, or is this just...
that was a one-off. Well, I did another gig with them this year, actually, their first gig of the year. I had played with them a few years ago, around the time probably I was here before, in Westport, I think it was. Yeah. And that's where I met Anto. Actually, I hadn't met him, and I didn't know who he was, and I was warming up, and he had came over to me and said, "Are you going to sing Minnie?" That song, because I think he had heard me singing it at an open mic in Galway.
Brilliant.
And he had liked it and remembered it, and I didn't know who he was. I was like, oh yeah, I might do, and I kind of
It's a
kept
nice,
going.
it's a nice thing that when somebody comes up and brings that to you about your song, your own music.
And when it's him, then,
I know.
Yeah, because we ended up.
It's Monday night sessions, and say Padraig is with us ahead of his gig in Lifford on the 16th. Time is exactly 9 o'clock. We're heading for the news. We'll be back at
9. Good evening, I'm Tina Gates. 2 children have been killed in a multiple stabbing in Southport in the UK. Several others are injured, 6 of whom are in critical condition. A number of adults were also injured trying to stop the attack at a centre holding a Taylor Swift-themed event. A 17-year-old boy has been arrested and a knife seized. Chief Constable Serena Kennedy from Merseyside Police says they're still trying to establish a motive.
The investigation is in its early stages and the motivation for the incident remains unclear. However, Counter-Terrorism Police North West have offered their support to Merseyside Police as the full circumstances of what has happened are being established. At this moment in time, the investigation is not being treated as terrorist-related.
Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer says it's impossible to imagine what the families are going through.
I know I speak for everybody in the whole country in saying our thoughts and condolences with the victims, their families, their friends and the wider community.
The family of a woman murdered by her husband in County Mayo 5 years ago want him to be stripped of his parental rights over their 3 children. 51-year-old James Kilroy was today handed a life sentence for murdering Valerie French Kilroy at their home in Kilbree, Lower Westport in June 2019. In the UK, the parental rights of a parent convicted of murdering the other parent are automatically suspended while they're in prison. Valerie's brother David French believes it's time to introduce a similar law here.
Valerie's husband killed her brutally, yet he retains all parental rights to her children. This is an absolutely ridiculous situation. Killing a mother is child abuse. Children have to be protected from abusers. Murderers in the UK have their parental rights suspended under what is called Jade's Law.
People in Lebanon are preparing for an escalation in tensions with Israel after a deadly rocket attack in the Golan Heights. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to deliver a severe response after visiting the site today. Journalist Fintan Drury was in Lebanon before being advised to leave following the strike, which killed 12 children. He says he spoke to a government official who says the situation between the two countries has changed rapidly.
I spoke with him yesterday and he said if he had been speaking with me after the attack yesterday, that his view of the prospect or danger of this escalating would have been very different from what he had shared with me the previous day. So I think there is increasing alarm.
The Taoiseach says we must all make an effort to reverse the trend in road deaths. Simon Harris says we made progress in reducing the number of crashes in recent years, but that progress is now at risk. An average of 1 motorist every hour is arrested here on suspicion of driving under the influence, and that shocking figure has been revealed as Gardaí make a renewed safety appeal after another deadly weekend on the roads. Junior Transport Minister James Lawless says drivers will be consulted before CCTV in taxis is mandated. The plan was proposed following the sentencing of taxi driver Raymond Shorten for the rape of 2 female passengers 2 years ago. It's met with some opposition from representatives of the National Private Hire and Taxi Association, but Minister Lawless says they'll be engaged with throughout the process. These taxi drivers say CCTV would make everyone's lives easier.
Yeah, I think it's great to protect us, protect the passengers. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great thing, and particularly if it's subsidised, it'd be fantastic.
The Taoiseach says he's glad to see progress on UK efforts to replace the controversial Legacy Act. Micheál Martin says he's studying a statement by the Northern Secretary Hilary Benn, providing further detail on how he plans to reverse the current prohibition on new civil proceedings and propose measures to allow inquests previously halted to proceed. He says we owe it to victims, survivors and their loved ones to get this right. And that's your latest news update at 9:04.
This is Highland Radio with Paul McDevitt.
Yes, it is, and you're very welcome back on this fine Monday evening. I thought we were going to have a great spell of weather there, but for some reason decided to rain again on us. But I think maybe the rest of the week might be good. But Padraig is with us here, and as I say, he is playing in the Lifford Courthouse on the 16th of August, and tickets are available via the courthouse.
Yep.
And
website and Eventbrite.
And Eventbrite, yeah. And as I say, if you want a good night of music in a beautiful setting, which would lie totally to your style of music, and that is a venue for it. And he was playing on Saturday night supporting the Saw Doctors. Saw Doctors are still packing places in, aren't they? And they're selective in where they tour now.
They could keep printing tickets all day. Yeah, they were just back from America, and
I know.
Yeah, they've I think since COVID, I think they've just great songs.
They have.
You know, they've some mega hits. You know,
I love just putting on sometimes Spotify, just putting on the Saw Doctors just for the crack. You know.
Yeah.
You're working on an album at the moment.
I am. I've finally finished. Well, it's been a long process, but it's almost finished now. I'll actually be announcing it this week, I think.
These Shores is a single from it.
It is, yeah. And it's actually, and I haven't said it, but that's going to be the title of the album as well. These Shores.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's.
And obviously, are they all self-written songs?
Yeah. Except one is my dad's. I have one or two of my dad's. Barry Ronan, he's a singer-songwriter. Yeah.
Your father was a poet.
He kind of was. He's a songwriter. My aunt is a poet, Mary O'Malley. She's a poet, but no, he's a singer-songwriter. PJ is his name, but Barry Ronan is his stage name. He recorded an album in Windmill Lane actually with what's his name, Nicky Ryan, Inya. Produced it from 1982, I think it was under Gail Lynn album. It was a pop rock album, all in Irish. I think it was way ahead of its time. He really blazed a trail, and as he says, he did it when it wasn't, before it was cool, like when it wasn't cool.
I know.
There was even up.
Obviously,
some quite opposition to it.
There's music at home.
Yeah, we're all Dad, particularly on Dad's side, his brothers, my uncle Shay and Martin, they're all more into trad, and me and my cousin Ronan, brother Cahill, we're all into pop and rock. We grew up on good diet of Elton John, Queen, George Michael, Inya, James Taylor, Phil Collins, Van Morrison, exactly, yeah. So that was what we were more into, the contemporary stuff,
Aye, very good. And I'm just looking at something here, Paul Dara's. This is regarding the last young lads who are up with us. Paul Dara's granda and my daddy is Tony that drives the train in Oakfield Park. Tony McGlynn, I know Tony very well. Thanks very much for that. I didn't realise that. And hopefully be catching up with Tony again real shortly down in Oakfield Park. That's a good one there, now you see. It's a small world. Yeah, so music was obviously, and it was a path you were going to explore. The process of your album. Do you sit down to say, right, I'm going to write 12 songs for an album or 10 songs, or do you what way does it work for you?
Well, the first one was almost first past the post when I kind of had 10 songs that I was happy with, but it was more almost a compilation of songs. I think this one is more like, feels like a more like an album. Like I feel like things have their place in it, and like I have that song These Shores, which is about, it's kind of Irish, it's like looking at reunification maybe, and with the potential pole and all that, that it's kind of looking at that. It's a real proud to be Irish song, but like there's another song on it called It Could Be Home, and it's called that's actually me attempting with respect to take the perspective of say unionists in the north in the same context. It's kind of looking at from a in a siege mentality a little bit, we're not wanted by the British and we're not necessarily wanted here, as if I don't know, like it's kind of taking that kind of thing. And then I have another song called Atone then, which is kind of somewhere in the middle. It's like it's kind of trying to with online stuff and people arguing and stuff, it's kind of trying to see other people's point of view, and
do your topics change? Does the line of thought through the album? Some people might be going through an emotional thing personally, so the full album focuses on that. Are you driven by that, or are you driven by different?
Do you know what? I don't know if this album is that, even though what I just said there now sounds like it's about that, but I think it's mainly those three songs. But I have another idea for during the process of 2 or 3 years now, going back to COVID, really, this album, since it came about. At one point, I had this idea of a concept album about something kind of more specific, and I'll probably still do that, actually. I won't even say what it is yet, but, and doing that. And but whereas this one, I have another song, one of Dad's songs, which is a great song, A good lively one. It's kind of almost country rock kind of thing, and it's a great bass line in it. And then I have another one about Ciara, my partner, about meeting her, which I think is my favourite song now. And so it feels more like an album. It brings you up, down, and it kind of carries you along. I think that's.
You see, it's unusual just to talk to a songwriter who, say this is my father's song. Has your father still with us?
He is, thankfully, yeah. He has
Has he got a back catalogue of songs he wrote himself?
He does, and I joke about it a lot. I say if I run out of songs, I just steal a few of his, because I had a couple of his on my last album as well.
Had you?
Yeah. And he has some brilliant songs. Yeah, he's one of the best songwriters as far as I'm concerned around. He's a great composer, and I can dip into take a few of his if I'm. It's not so much running out of songs. I mean, I could try and write another one, but I think I've started with doing that. We're kind of co-writers, really, a little bit.
Wouldn't it be a great project?
I like to keep that tradition going as well.
Wouldn't it be a great project if you're able to go back and put it on? I'm not saying it. But taking your father's songs just totally.
My own interpretation. Or something. Yeah, that would be a great idea. Yeah, even that Irish album, the Gaelin one I mentioned. Yeah. I would like to do that maybe at some point, to redo them maybe. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because they did them in 82 or 83, as I said, and there was the Fairlight synthesizer had come out. It was the newest thing in music, that Brian Eno and all these guys were using, and at the time. And Paul Barrett, actually, who did a lot of work with U2, he was the engineer on it, I think. He's friends with someone else who lives on the island, and I've met him a few times now. And he had engineered Dad's album when he wasn't doing like Unforgettable Fire. There was all this kind of like that world. I was like, Jesus, Dad was really like around all that. But he had to kind of not give it up. But my brother was born, we were born, so he was on the island.
Different things priority.
Yeah, exactly. But but it does sound a bit 80s, very kind of 80s.
But
brilliantly produced, but it's 80s,
But I know what you're saying. 80s is hip at the minute,
That's true. Maybe you should just put it out as it is. It's on Spotify now again, but Gaelin, they put it out. It's called Thra, TR Afada TH. It's all, as I said, it's all in Irish, and there's some great songs on it.
I must check that out.
Actually, you should. It's well worth checking out, even as a piece of bit of Irish music history, but pop music history. But actually, Leo Moran, the last night at the gig, at the Saw Doctors gig, we were chatting after, and Mom and Dad were backstage after, and Leo was telling me before Dad came in, he's like, geez, your dad's Barry Ronan. I was like, yeah. He goes, geez, I remember hearing his song, and I listened to him on TV, and I got the guitar out when I was starting, and he said, I didn't know what he was saying, but I worked out, I know it was in E anyway, it was in E major. He said, but I didn't know what he was saying, it was in Irish, and he ended up telling him, and so Dad, they were chatting away.
Having some conversation.
Yeah, I was there listening, and I know Dad was delighted because he doesn't get out to many gigs now, and stuff, so he was delighted to get to meet the guys and stuff.
Of course you would. Oh, you'd be delighted. Sure.
He's been there and done all that as well.
Well, come here. We'd love to get into another piece of music. We could chat all night here, but
it's great. Yeah.
This next song is Alone.
A Tone. Sorry, yeah.
A Tone.
So no, you're grand. That's my handwriting, I'd say. But it's that other one. It's the one we're trying to bring people together a little bit.
Right.
It's on the new album. It's going to be on the new album.
Do you know what? I'm just looking forward to this now. Now that I've got the background of it, I'm looking forward to hearing this. Whenever you're ready.
Cool. Thanks very much. Thank you. I'm going to sing it a little bit lower because my voice is still a bit. Everyone's talking, no one is listening. You find you're losing heart. Someone is taking, no one is giving. The world is coming apart. We could all be the best of friends. We could all take a rest, my friends. If you could atone with someone else who saw the same thing from a different lens, would you have grown? If no one else satisfied you against all your senses, so many dimensions, the latest opinions seek to make their mark. Faithless ideals, sharing ideas, bridges crack their backs. We could all be the best of friends. We could all take take a rest, my friend. If you could atone with someone else who saw the same thing from a different lens, would you have grown? If no one else satisfies you against all your senses. If you could atone with someone else who saw the same thing from a different lens, would you have grown? If no one else satisfies you against all your senses, would you atone with someone else who saw the same thing from a different lens, would you have grown? If no one else satisfied you against all your senses,
Lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely indeed. How many albums have you?
This will be my second.
Is your second?
Yeah.
Do you think it's changed the whole process of distribution and everything now? It's a whole.
I gather it has. I've met some, different musicians who've been like, I don't know, Sharon Shannon and Anto, talking to them about, the music industry, and they're like, oh, you miss the days of CDs and tapes and stuff, But so
you do.
I guess the distribution thing. I released my first one on it with a great boutique label in the UK in Ipswich, Tom Haxel, Good Deeds Records. But I'm self-releasing this one, and so I've been kind of looking. I'm actually creating my own label as well. Just for the sake of this, I think I'm calling it Casamacha Records.
Ah,
it's my first mention of it.
Very good. Yeah. Una Sandland, is that? Am I saying that right? Pardon? Sandylands. My who? Padraig Jack.
Garamagat. Thank you.
There you go. Lovely. Very good. Producing your own. Why not bring out your own music label and stuff like that? Yeah. How did the COVID thing affect you? Because you're a working singer songwriter.
Yeah, I was just it worked out. Yeah, it was really bad timing for me. I'd spent about 2 years work recording the album in London with John Reynolds, who's a brilliant producer, and I'd lined up. I was to be playing at WOMAD Festival in the UK, and I did a tour of Germany, tour of France. I had a load of things lined up, and then obviously COVID happened, and the album was to come out in April, and COVID hit in March, whatever it was. So it really did mess things up. But look, I ended up recording an extra song that I put on the album, and I released "Making Sand" as a single the following year in 2020, or 2 years in 2022, and that was, I think, I was told Mike Scott said it was a hit from the Waterboys on Twitter. Wow. So I mean, I take his word for it.
Good enough.
But so that did really well, and that really opened a lot of doors for me. And so I guess that mightn't have happened if that had come out. I mightn't have even released that as a single the first time. So it depends how you look at it. And and I wrote all this all the second album during COVID.
Did you do live streaming and stuff like that? No.
I did one in the Thai Vark in Galway. There's a show there, but there was no one there, and it just didn't work.
I know. But as such was sort of the sadness or the missing of it. It was probably just nice to have it in your head that you were. I know a lot of people done that, but I think a lot of people missed that live audience connection. Because you don't know who's listening or who's not.
So I think we all appreciated music a bit more after it, and loads of other things as well.
I totally agree with you on that one. You have an album coming out on the 11th of October, playing the Courthouse in Lifford on the 16th of August. And as I said, you get tickets via Eventbrite. And
I'm doing that as well in association with Maura Folan, who's here driving me around, and Radio SAF as well. So
excellent. LiffordCourthouse.com, and you'll get all the information you want there. Well, you're it's a delight as much as the last time having you back again, Padraig. We really enjoyed.
Well, thanks very
your
much.
Company in your session, and as I say, you're one of them people that you could sit in the next thing and go, good God, are we talking an hour here? It's been really enjoyable. We'd love to get another track, and this is going to be the title track from the forthcoming album, which is released on the 11th of October.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is basically only around. Did you ever see a year flew as quick? No,
I know, Jesus, yeah.
It's what day? What Wednesday is it? Is the first or?
It is, or so,
August. That's when the good weather comes.
I think I was actually planning to release this like last October or last September. I think I ended up pushing it back. I can't believe it's another year.
If people are looking information on you, are you on the platforms?
I am. Oh yeah, yes. Obviously, the music is on Spotify, and I'm on TikTok. I had a viral video on TikTok talking about something non-music related, which I stopped with. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram is the main one, I think. To be honest. And PadraigJack.com is my website where everything is linked.
Brilliant.
It's a simple one.
Brilliant. Well, I want to wish you all the best. I genuinely look forward to the album coming out.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
And I intend following up on your father on Spotify.
I do.
I love that.
It's great. It's
I love that because a lot of times here people would say, "Do you know who influenced you?" And then somebody would name. I never heard tell him. Yeah. And I love writing it down.
Oh yeah.
And then going and checking it.
I love that as well. Yeah.
Because you get your ears open and you go, well, why did I never hear this person before? But anyway,
I love a good recommendation, from someone.
Exactly.
Especially someone, if you like, what they like, their music and stuff. And
exactly.
It's great. Yeah.
Right, this is These Shores, and it's the title track from Padraig Jack's forthcoming album, and we'd love to hear this.
Thank you very much. These shores, the Celtic soul has grown, a culture of our own, without that has strewn afar. To our lords we've stood up and we have repelled. We have toiled and we have rebelled with our own soil beneath us. The tributes paid on this sacred sod that was cultivated in the name of God, of pagan hands, this Gaelic land will be bestowed upon us. As harvests bore many cycles of divide, and now an island unified may soon be upon us. The tributes paid on this sacred sod that was cultivated in the name of God, of pagan hands, this Gaelic land will be bestowed upon us. Forgive our sins as we forgive those as we must, those who trespassed against us, to shape a new beginning.
Slinje nishon tala shav Vi mojriyavan Be mojan gojo Le mishnach jian Palio ye Nos nangail Tamais
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely
very
beautiful.
much,
What a beautiful song and a beautiful title. And that is the title track from the forthcoming album released on the 16th. I beg your pardon, the 11th of October. The 16th of August. This man will be performing live in Lifford. And as I say, go along. It's going to be an amazing gig. And Padraig, Jonathan McCourt says, brilliant, Padraig. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And as I say, thanks for making the journey. And it's a delight seeing you as always. We look forward to the album.
Thank you very much.
And you'll come back up again.
I'd love to, yeah.
All right, Jack, thank you so much.
Thank you, and
Well
thanks to
done.
Maura as well. For
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow now,
Yeah.